Hey everyone, it's Glenn with ERD, the guy in the video. And today, in our continuing series of 30 years of broken electronics and the changes we've seen, today we're going to go and talk about a topic that I personally enjoy, which is tubes to transistors. So, over the last 30 years, we have seen a lot of changes in technology. But previous to that, going another 20 years before that, from the late 50s, the world of electronics became the world of electronics. So previously to 1960-something, everything had tubes. This is an example of one of the original tubes that you would find in an antique radio from the 1920s, whereas this one right here was more advanced in the 1950s, early 60s. This gave way in the 1960s, early on, to the invention of the germanium transistor, which you can see right here in my hand, maybe. This little transistor revolutionized the world and allowed you to have portable AM radios, for example, which I think I have one somewhere right here, which was one of the first innovations of the transistor and what helped make it become popular. Is this little guy that you could walk around and listen to. The number of tubes you would need to get that would cover this table. So obviously that's not something you can carry around at the beach or when you're walking around or going somewhere. This then led to advancements in transistors for all kinds of things. So you have large transistors that were used for motor controls or controlling machines. Like these large power supplies, stuff in audio equipment, TVs, all the stuff of the 1960s and 70s. And of course, a lot of this over time merged and became into power cubes, which is a topic that, if you see below, is a link to a previous conversation on these topics. And that's where ERD entered. We came in at the tail end of discrete components 30 years ago. And then moving forward, a lot of it was shoved into a small form factor package. So this is kind of giving you a look at what happened before. Now, when we first started work on electronics, one of the first things we repaired actually was tube equipment, using tubes kind of like this. And there was still plenty of tube equipment left from the 1970s and the early 80s that we could fix, and we did. Nowadays, we very rarely see tube equipment. There's some occasional tube equipment we get in for specialized equipment, but for the most part, it's pretty dead. Now, in terms of discrete component stuff like this, we still get a lot of that. And of course, the mainstay of modern electronics is shove everything into one package. So we get a lot of that for repair. So again, thanks for tuning in and taking a look at some of the things that we've learned over the last 30 years, tubes and transistors. And remember, at ERD, we're repairing the world one tube, one transistor, or one package at a time.